Good morning and welcome in, everyone. Before we get into this morning's update, I would like to go over a quick synopsis of what is transpiring so far across the crypto market. XRP surged up from just about 48 hours ago when we were around the $2 level. Now we're at the $2.38 level. We're up about 2% on the day, looking about as straight and narrow as we could possibly be right now. We'll take a look at DGB today as well. As yesterday was up about 25%, today it's up another 10.2%. So DGB's had a tremendous move here. Up to our first tier resistance now at 1.43 cents that we talked about yesterday. For anybody who was in here, it was at about the 107 level yesterday during the live, and I bought additional holdings to get up to 1 million. And since that time, it's gone up about, it's over 30% from where we bought it yesterday. Just the additional tokens. It was just, a lot of people were asking me and said, I'm not scared about this positioning on DGB. It's on the outside of the breakout back testing. It was somewhere around here yesterday. Somewhere around here. 10.7. I think it was 10.7. So if you were buying it with us last night, before the break, or yesterday morning before this breakout, you've already seen a 32% pump here, which is great to see. I always love when my baby moves. So we'll definitely take a look at those technicals and see what it needs to do to break out past that resistance area. We'll take a deep look at XRP as it has bounced off of the pennant flag support. Now we're working our way up to the resistance, and we've talked about, even if bearish, we could come up to this $2.50. Nothing would have changed. We just need to break out of the short-term formation. I had the short-term bull flag and short-term formations drawn out. It broke out successfully in each of the two resistance, and now the next resistance is at $2.50. If we can break that, the technical target out of this pennant flag is $3.59. Just like we've watched the optics go along as it went from 97 to $1.02 on the drop if it would have broke down the pennant flag, but fortunately, it did not break down. Now, it's unfortunate if you're looking for a further drop down so that maybe you could position, maybe you could buy in for the first time. But right now, we got to see if this materializes in anything. We very well could drop back down to $2.20 if it wants to back test this short-term breakout. But in the immediate terms, if you look at the daily, we're breaking into a bullish region. Nice bullish candle here in the daily, a engulfing candle to the top side, created a new swing or a session high. We broke the recent candle resistance. And now it looks like we're back testing it, which if we're going to back test the recent candle resistance, that's around $2.35. But we'll take a deeper look at what's going on there. We'll take a look at Bitcoin as it's up about $1,900. And then we'll take a look at gold as it started off hot here. B2 gold never went below our sell signal, so we're able to at least hold on to it for the time. And silver, as you know, I've been building into a silver position. Not physical silver, but paper silver. So the iSilver Trust I've been building, it was around $25, $26, the iSilver Trust, which is usually about $2 lower than the regular silver ounce price. So I've been building into that. I've got about just over $4,000 into that. So we'll see. I've got $10,000 in value in B2 Gold, but it's just over 4,000 tokens. So we'll see how this plays out as the day goes on. Nice to see a little bit of a hot start here in precious metals. Commodities market will open in about 2 minutes with the stock market, so it'll definitely be something to watch. And we'll look at that tonight mostly with the gold and silver, because I got to get going here. I got to do this update. Then I'm going to go up to the gym. It's a 20-minute walk up there. It's about a mile. Do my 45 minutes to an hour. Then it's about another 20 minutes back, so it's a 2-mile walk there and back. And then I got to get my son to speech therapy today at noon, so we'll have an update at noon as well. So I welcome everybody in. Happy New Year to everybody. Hope you're off to a great start. And we'll get into this right now. Good morning. 9:28 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Thursday, January 2nd, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire with the side bet on XLM and Future Digibyte. Oh, geez, we'll go back to basics here in the 2025. When I do my updates on XRP, we will now fall back into the XLM and DGB updates in the morning. If you're a fan of only XRP, it might not hit you the right way with XLM and DGB. But if you're a fan of all three, like when I first started the show in 2021, we'll definitely be diving more into all three of them as I promised yesterday. So let's start off with the nitty gritty. Bitcoin. up 1,977 points. Bounce off of the rising broadening wedge. In one scenario we played out, there was two of them. If you would have broke down them 74,000 right away. The second scenario, and I've had this drawn out for, well, we've drawn this out a lot in the lives. If you're missing the lives, you're missing a lot of information because these updates are only 20 minutes. But when you come into the lives daily at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, yesterday I did it earlier because it was New Year's and I had things to do. But if you come in tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll have a 1 hour discussion and you can ask any question you want and we'll get to the bottom of it. So right now we've had the right bouncing off. Now technically you could bounce all the way up here, create the head formation, stay within the rising broadening wedge, then start to create the breakdown pattern if it's going to break out of this into the future. So that's a scenario that we're looking at very closely because that looks like a left shoulder, which is why it's weird that this is a broadening wedge, a rising broadening wedge, that it normally breaks down 70% of the way. We're not quite 70%. If we bounce back up and back down, well, our technical target off that cup and handle when Bitcoin first break out is 122,782. I've kept it up there that whole time. The 132 is if it were to break bullish out of this broadening wedge, which that's from a lower level, but we'll see. We'll see, because if it breaks out all the way up to there and it comes back up in the rising broadening wedge, you're going to have a bigger measurement. You're going to have a bigger base inside the rising broadening wedge. But the technical target is 122,782 out of that cup and handle. And that is why it still looks like that. So that's something that we have not fulfilled yet. And until that happens, that technical target is absolutely still on the board. Ethereum is showing us some good vibes here, up 3.14% today, or $105. I have exposure to Ethereum, but not in the spot market. I don't even want to get into it, but it's a 2 Ethereum trade. That was opened at 3,320, so we'll see how that pans out. But anyhow, XRP right now at 3.14%, sitting at $2.40. We played off perfectly out of the pennant flag. We've drawn it out a couple different ways in case it did break down out of the pennant, but I guess we don't need that chart. We'll just show this one. This showed a breakdown or a breakout. I like to be very transparent. Now we don't have to have this focus right now because it seems to be on the top side. So now, remember when it was at support, how we would talk about the bearish possibility because it was prevalent? Now we can, at least for the short term, take away that $8, $50 is still the FVG, which is a fair value gap. So now the $2.50, now that we're heading here, and I remember we talked about this when it was on an area of support, because it was on a support structure, we had to talk about the possibility of a breakdown, but also where it could go back up, even if bearish, if it was just riding in the pattern. So right now we're kind of in that, as we were in the make it or break it zone when we were farther down, now we're back in the make it or break it zone if we want to have a breakout. So now we would have to break $2.50. So we'll focus on the bullish possibility here for the next day or two and see if we can in fact break out. And this is around 70% of the move. So if it's going to break out, this is a great spot for the pennant flag. So we have to get above $2.50. Intermittent move would be, this needs to move because now this uptrending support is way up there. But you could feasibly, just like Bitcoin, how Bitcoin could come up to 122,000 to get that bearish hit on the rising broadening wedge. XRP is in the exact same scenario. It could technically come all the way up out of the pennant flag to 351, the technical target, and only hit the uptrending resistance from the cycle uptrend. So you technically could come all the way back up there and be bearish and get that hit of resistance. Me personally, because of the fair value gaps that are sitting around $1.52 and even lower, we've got one at 92 cents, and we've got one at 44 cents roughly, and then we've got the lowest FVG going all the way back to 2000, I believe 18, 19. We have a gap at 4 cents. So those are filled 97% of the time. But as I've stated, just because those haven't been filled, we have one sitting up here, a guarantee from 2018, that's right around $3.50. So it does make sense to come up there and close this fair value gap at the top. And once that's closed, then we have to pay attention. You know, is it going to get up and break violently over that all-time high and back test it? Or is that going to be a level of resistance that ends this cycle? Then we come back down and clear some of the old noise and then come back up. But remember, $5.49 is technically the cycle rally point. If Bitcoin's meant to go to 122,000, XRP, if we look at it the same way through the descending wedge that took place for almost 7 years that we broke out of in October, started in January 2018, took until October, November of 24 to break out and confirm it. The first target was 222, but the technical target's $5.49. That's why it sits up there. So we have to see if that plays out. So pay attention to that for XRP this morning. I know there's a lot of information this morning, but, don't have a lot of time here. XLM almost to 43 cents. Very happy with that. For transparency, I do own 20,000 XLM, but most of you already know that. But we've got this falling candle that's almost like a bull flag setup. We came back on top of the uptrend from the cycle uptrend, which is fantastic news. And it seems like we're getting ready for something big. Like, it really does feel like we're getting ready for something big here with XLM. So if XLM breaks out, let's just do the channel right now. Let's forget about the flag that we're in. If it breaks, well, we'll go from right here. If it breaks out of this, short term we'd be at 68 cents. Imagine if we're at 68 cents. We bought at 8 friggin' cents. That would be an 8-bagger more. So we're looking really hot right now. We're looking really hot as far as our portfolios. I'm very proud of our community too, because when we went to those uptrends for support, we were not afraid to talk about the possibility of a breakdown or what we were going to do to plan if it did break down. But we're continuing to push the message in here. Don't force it down unless it has to. Don't force yourself out of a position unless you're forced. Like yesterday, I was forced to buy more DGB. Not because I wanted to buy it at 105, 104. I was planning on the 0098 to rebuy because I sold at 138 a certain amount of my position so that I could buy more. It's not something I usually do, but it was an example for myself what I could do. And then it followed the path. I just played it off. But I'm not looking to do that going forward here with DGB anymore. But it was a way to get me over 1 million. And it's actually played out very well. And with XLM, if we do get this short-term move from where we're at right now, and it does look like we're building towards it. I mean, this technical target's a 60% move. And the fact that it's 25 cents, it's a 25-cent move. So anybody who buys it here, it's a 59.5% move. Anybody who bought XLM with us just over 8, it was like 8.3 cents. This would end up being a 300% move for us in our portfolio. This is how beautifully quick things can turn out and work out in our favor. So pay attention to this for XLM. If it has to come back down, it could technically test the uptrend. And this right now is right around just about 39.6 cents. And we're starting to push up here just a tiny bit. But obviously we had a big day yesterday. So just pay attention to the support structures that we put out in front of you. DGB's up 13.8% today, up to 1.43 cents. It's gone over that resistance right now at 1.43. So if it can hold the resistance, we have a big move that can still come. Big move. Big move. The next big target right now, if it were to break out of this, you've got to move up to 2.37 cents. So if this does hold this area, you're looking at a possibility of a push of about 73%. And the beauty of this is from yesterday, we weren't afraid yesterday because we could see that it was just about to break out. 36% DGB's move from yesterday when we were on the live. So that's a fantastic movement from DGB. I'm very happy to see the way that this is progressing. So right now we're looking to hold 1.4 cents if you're a fan of DGB. And that's what we need to hold to continue moving on upward and forward. So I'm XRP Future Millionaire. I'm going to leave it there because I've got to get going. I'm going to be pushed for time here if I take any longer. If you're looking to trade crypto, whether in the USA or abroad, we're looking at, for me personally, my favorites, BitUnix, lowest spot and leverage trading fees. You can get yourself situated. They have XRP and many other cryptocurrencies. You don't need to do a VPN or KYC unless you want to. And like I said, it's the lowest maker-taker fee. So whether you're in a leverage standpoint, like I'm doing with Ethereum right now, and that's only a $250 trade, just 25x. Or you can do spot. You can do Hotcoin. They have Velo, XDC, IOTA, many others, many others. If you're looking for a way to store your money, especially if you're not in crypto or if you're sold crypto for profit and you're like, I need some backing, FDIC backing, crypto.com, a lot of people don't pay attention to it in the USA, but I would. That's what I do. I have $25,000 on the crypto debit card. That's the max you can have at any one time. It's prepaid from your holdings. And then up to 250K as long as it's in USD if it's being held on the side, backed by the FDIC. So you might as well get the Federal Depositors Insurance backing. And then if you're in crypto, obviously they can't guarantee it because crypto, you can't guarantee it's going to stay from going to zero. It's just like any stock you hold. And then I've got my DGB. If you're looking for DGB, it's on there. ZIL, VChain, XLM, Algo, IOST, which is an Internet of Things token. There's so many different things. Jasmy's on there. So, I mean, you've got many different options there. So, on this early morning, and then if you want to send a donation, PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, not necessary. But if you would like to do it outside of YouTube, very appreciative, but it's not necessary. You can join Tom's Army is the greatest way to show support, or send a YouTube super chat. But just make sure before you leave, hit that like button, share this on social media, and subscribe to the channel and join the over 30,400 subscribers. Oh, it's a beautiful thing to see DGB starting to move here a little bit. Yesterday was almost 25%. Today's over 15 almost. So have a blessed day, everybody, and I'll meet you all again here at noon today in an update when my son's doing his speech therapy. Have a blessed day, everybody. And if you made it till the end, hashtag be better, do better in the comments.